Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about using library databases today through Palm Beach State College Library Databases. They're accessible in your Canvas and also on the library homepage. But we're going to work through Canvas today because it's a little bit easier since they narrow down the databases for you. There's 4 here on your Canvas resource page if you look at the library resources. And we're going to focus today on Gale Power Search and opposing viewpoints. So the purpose of doing research in databases, which in avoiding Google is much, much better, but you'll find that there's a few things you'll fall in love with when it comes to doing research in the databases. I would advise that students do this for all their courses, but in my course, it's mandatory. Students are not allowed to use any resources outside of the library databases for anything in my courses. So we start with Gale opposing viewpoints. And there's a few things first. Students will always want to make sure that they sign in with Google or Microsoft so that anything that they do in these databases is saved. You can also translate all the pages as well as you see here. You'll also know that you're in opposing viewpoints, because they'll say it on the main text, which you can also do an advanced search here as well. However, I would make some suggestions. Besides browsing the issues and title lists, if you scroll down past the topic of interest, which will change every day, and you can even go through a ticker tape, you move down to the main issues. Now, there are hundreds of them. So students are requested to go through and just say, hey, what do I want to look for? Think of what you're really passionate about. And this is a great search tool. Below, they also have a topic finder in addition to other resources. So we'll just take, for example, if I look at the main page, something I'm interested in, which would be possibly society and culture and homelessness. Again, they'll come up with a main resource for you to look for, but if you continue to scroll down and you don't want to read any more about that specifically, you'll again have hundreds of resources. But you can choose what kind of research you want to engage in. For example, I like videos and I like images more than I do academic journals. They're easier for me to understand. So you can go through and you can pick which ones you like. And even so, what's interesting is it will tell you when it was from. And if you click on something you're interested in as well, it'll also give you more exploratory options in addition to related resources. So you never have to just continue searching. It actually does it for you, which is pretty fantastic. So this is one of the ways that you can search through the Gale opposing viewpoints. And again, you can click on any of the kinds that you would like to have as categories. However, if you would like, you can also, like I said, if you already know what you want to search for, you can use the main advanced search or browsing any of the issues here, or you can also use at the bottom the topic finder, which is really, really neat. So the topic finder has 2 ways of looking at it. It'll give you the option to search in a visualization of a tile view, or you can use a wheel. So if I type in the same topic we were just discussing, which was homelessness, you'll start to see the tiles populate. But if you would prefer to see a wheel, and again, you'll see all of these different topics, you can narrow it down. But if you'd like to see the wheel instead, just for that visual, you can. And just as we did with the opposing viewpoints, whatever you click on will give you tons of results for you to be able to search for. And I'm just going to look at the first one, and I'll tell you how many. And again, from that, it will additionally give you resources that are like-minded, and you can search even further for that. So this is how you use one of the first type of library databases, which was the Gale opposing viewpoints. And then the Gale Power Search is very similar. I'll just touch on that for one moment. And then the others I don't touch on, because if you'd like some tutoring with those, you can go discuss that with the library. But these are my 2 favorites. So again, we know we're in Gale Power Search. We've decided if we're going to sign on so that we can save anything that we're doing in here. And I can look at all of these different databases that are in Gale. I can select or deselect them if I really want to. And then just like in opposing viewpoints, there is the topic finder that has those options. There's also now a subject guide if you'd like to look for that in regards to specific subject terms, or publication searches if you know exactly what you want to look for and what's available. So again, we can go to the topic finder and you'll have the same sort of visualization result here with the keywords and come up with, let's see, homelessness. Very similar results. So here's the tiles. And we'll just say mental health associated with homelessness. And you can continue to narrow and narrow and narrow and narrow. Say prices. And it will give you, if you look at there's 13 here, even less and less things to choose from as well. So I really like these resources. And again, you are required to use them for this course and you're not allowed to use Google. The other wonderful thing about these resources, and I'll just go into opposing viewpoints really quickly, is that a fabulous thing about these resources is that they cite your sources for you. So if I just go back into the source of homelessness that I found earlier, and I'll click on just the very first thing. We have a lot of tools in our library databases as well. So we can cite our sources in both MLA, APA. Some students use Chicago and Harvard style, but these are the two that you're going to toggle in between and use for most of your courses. And then also you can send it to yourself and download it. You can print it. You can also highlight on any of your text as well and make notes. You can save them and you can also delete them if you decide that you've made a mistake. This is also a great resource because, like we said before, you can translate the entire text. You can make the font larger and smaller if you need to as well. And you can also change the display options if you need any kind of adaptations for the text, in addition to having it read to you so that you can listen while you're reading along. For people like me where reading is very challenging, since I'm dyslexic and ADHD, this is a great resource because I can read and have the reading read aloud to me at the same time that I'm taking notes and I really absorb the information. So this is the wonderful things about your library databases and these library resources that you'll use for my class, but they're available to you for all of your courses. And again, I hope that you understand that you need to use these for my course specifically, but they are also great to use for all of your classes as well. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you have any issues or you need to get more information about how to use these resources, you have library tutors, but you can also email me directly as well. Thank you.